Do you have any advice for students to find their own passion?
Generally, before become, say, professional venture capitalist, my advice to get more different experience. I believe for me, it helped very much that I used to be programmer, I used to be manager, I used to be entrepreneur, business owner, and then I became a venture capitalist. So I already get experience in other fields. I don't tell that everybody should repeat my way, no, but to get at least some experience, to work as manager, to understand how business corporation work, or to start your own startup and understand how this work, will make chances for you to become much more successful VC higher.
That makes a lot of sense. And basically because, right, that you want to be able to see all different parts of business. And the more that you can do that, the more you can have pattern recognition for what could be successful.
Exactly, because for today, maybe in future it will be other way, but for today, it's a lot of really human part in making decision. And for making decisions successfully, you should understand when you speak to entrepreneurs what they're speaking about. It's good when you can understand not only some technological part or analytical part, so say because you studied finance or you studied technology, but it's good when you have experience to understand, and try to distinguish a good entrepreneur from bad entrepreneur, scalable idea from something which will never happen, and so on. And this is why I believe that some experience is quite useful. And not only I believe, I know many body capitalists, and I see who is successful and who is not very much.
The other thing I was thinking of after you talked about that was just that, you know, and you mentioned this a bit, that right now it's very much a human-focused ideas. There's a big trend that's starting to develop here in the US of kind of employing data scientists or machine learning to try to determine investments. Do you see VC moving in that direction, or do you think it's always going to be kind of that feeling because it's more art and science, not just pure science?
Look, we VCs keep speaking about it since years. Everybody is thinking, okay, AI and networks will come here and make it possible. But so far, because it's short of structured data, and a lot of really what where you could and should rely on your feelings. So far, I haven't seen any even like 10% solution which will cover 10% of your work. But I still hope that it is coming, and we will get, it will not exclude art out of the process, but it will be not 90, but opposite, like 10%. And then this 10% will distinguish like best of class VCs. But for today, it is still more art than math.
I'm sure some non-STEM majors will appreciate that. You know, when I think what's also very fascinating about your approach is, like you said, you're kind of an accidental venture capitalist. So for all of those students who one day aspire to have their own funds, I'm sure when, you know, today you've raised, I think, four or five funds. So I'm sure the process gets a little easier. But when you're starting out for fund one, you know, and obviously coming from your background in Russia, which didn't have a long history of venture capital or entrepreneurship, you know, what was that process like? And, you know, how did you overcome a lot of the stereotypes against, you know, someone from the, you know, ex-Soviet Union to build that first fund?
Yeah, look, by the way, I started active career as venture capital investor in Austria, but then I moved as angel to former Soviet Union republics, and I did Russia, Belarus, Ukraine, and so on. Why I did it? Because I understood that I am trying some very competitive area, and I was not sure that I could do it globally. And this is why it was mistake, but I did, and I did it successfully. I did it on local markets and was able to locate talents and good projects, which really get me a quick and good start. But already from second year of my VC career, I started to invest in Israel and US startups quite very quickly, because I understood that despite of local success, you don't get really international global stories which could be recognized. And say I did my after 2 years after my first investment, I already invested in some company which later became my first unicorn. But to start, for me was not very difficult to start, because I already earned my money as entrepreneur, and I could like put aside quite a sum of money which I could risk in this game. And I did it, and it was very successful risk. But then when it came to really to scale this, my own funds was not enough. But initial success brought some people to come to me and offer me to leverage my money with their money. So I got my first fund with Solar LP in, it was like more than 9 years ago. For people who start today, like for students who want to start, it is necessary to decide what will be ground for somebody to trust them their money to make risky investments. They should have something. For me, it becomes that I first risked my own money and showed that I can really do successful projects. And then people, okay, they asked me to get this money. If to start today from scratch without any record, I believe it is quite a challenge to raise fund.
So it's almost like your story is almost about proving yourself in a sense, right?
For me, also, it is my character. I would not take money of people where I could not risk my own money. And it is an absolute rule for me in all my investment vehicles. I usually have at least 10% of every investment is my own risk. Sometimes it is much higher, like 30%, sometimes 50%. But a general rule of thumb, okay, not less than 10%, I should risk my own money. Otherwise, I will not feel this border between risk and success. And therefore, I consider every investment as my own investment. Even when I invest from fund, it is my own investment. And if I lose money, it's me. I lost money on this investment. If we earn money together. Yeah, I don't know about her, but for me, it is very helpful. And I believe it is one of the reasons why I managed to become successful investor.